Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show. Grab your coffee or your tea, hunty, because we have a lot to talk about. But before we get started on those red hot topics, please go to my website, www.monalisamonroe.com. We've got t-shirts, we've got mugs, we've got toast. Believe me, we've got you covered. And also, you could purchase my book, Life After the Diagnosis. If you know a survivor or you are a survivor, this is the book that you need. Well, let's go ahead and get this party started right, shall we?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show, honey. And like I said, grab your coffee and your tea, hunty, because we have a lot to talk about. So before we get started, now you guys already know what I'm going to say. For those who follow me, thank you, my portraits in my gallery. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the new states that have joined the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show. We appreciate every comment, every share, every viewer. We thank you for it all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, I want you guys to just settle in because you already know we talk about what you're talking about. And we're going to get started, but I do want to do one premiere commercial for you. Okay. So, when I'm not doing the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show, ding, I am the Garden City Housing Team President. So, I want to invite everybody in the Garden City area to the housing fair that we are having. Ding-a-ding-a-ding. We are having September the 10th. Let me get some background so you can see what I'm talking about. Yes. I want to invite everybody to that housing fair, September the 10th. There we go. September the 10th, the housing fair. This is a housing fair expo. We are wanting vendors to come out. If you want to sponsor this event, please email me at gardencityhousingteaminc@gmail.com. This housing fair is going to be bananas. We're looking for vendors. We're looking for food trucks. We want the works at this housing fair. Where is the housing fair? The housing fair is at the gym, the Garden City Gym. Here we go, right here. I want you to come out, Garden City. Come on out. Be a vendor. Get you some food. Get a food truck. Food trucks. We are interested in all of it. Please email me if you are interested in the housing fair, September the 10th. Garden City Housing Team Inc. at gmail.com is the um, email if you are interested. Okay. All right. I just had to do that plug. One more. Garden City Housing Team is also having a what? A job fair. And that job fair, I'm going to give you more information on that, but it is also in September, September the 17th. Please email me at Garden City Housing Team Inc. at gmail.com. We are hiring for the CHIP grant project in Garden City, Georgia. All right. So now that all of you are aware of what's going on in Garden City, let's talk about what you guys are talking about in the news. First things first. You already know the insurrection trials are back. Did you see the Proud Boys leader and the Proud Boys, and it was another group that is supposed to be this hardcore, it's white supremacist group, but their leaders per se or members of these groups were on the trial at the trial yesterday, and or was it the day before yesterday? Either way it goes, this is what's tripping me out. They get in front of these congressmen that is basically putting them on trial. And now all of the sudden, you are innocent. You don't know what came over you by taking over the Capitol. You have no idea about what you're going through, and you lost so much, and da 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 da. Look, I don't feel sorry for you. I really, really don't. Because when you got the news from Donald Trump or whoever, you stated, you in your mind said, I am going to support, I'm going to save the Capitol, I'm going to save the United States. I don't know what you thought, but you got on a plane, on a bus, in your car, however you got here, with intentions on taking over the Capitol. That's what your mind had set out to do. And then when you find out or you get caught, now you're trying to say, oh, we were just following orders of Donald Trump. My life has not been the same, or whatever you're talking about. It doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? Right now, it's like it's a done deal. You got caught, you know? You got caught. I'm trying to figure out which glasses work for me today, y'all. But my bottom line is you got caught. And now you're saying that basically Donald Trump told you to do what you did. And I don't know how well that's going to fly. I don't even know if it's working right now. But all I know is you have changed your story. These are the same people that came with weapons ready to, looks like, kill. You were talking about hanging. You were talking about taking over, getting your country back, all this kind of stuff. And then when you get caught, yeah, I think these work. And then when you get caught, everything changes now. Now you want to change your mind. That is a trip to me. That is a trip to me. Hey, good morning, Gladys. How are you? Good morning. I'm going to bring you a little closer this way because I don't want to miss. I got, like I said, I have social media, Facebook. I've got YouTube. I've got all of this going on, so I don't want to miss anybody's. Hey, I don't want to miss anybody's comments. So basically, I'm watching the trials again. Now, when it first came on, it would tell you what day and what time. Now, all of a sudden, it's not telling you anything. You got to keep turning the channels and try to catch it. I mean, like, what is up with that, right? Anyway, I just wanted you guys to know the insurrection trials are back on. So tune in. I don't even know what time. I can't even tell you because it's so many stuff that has so many details about what's going on has changed. But anyway, it's back on. The second red hot topic this morning, if you guys saw, Lord have mercy, poor Jill Biden. Did Jill really say that? Okay, so Jill, the first lady, Joe Biden's wife. Oh my gosh. Joe Biden's wife attempts to compliment the Latinos and failed when she said they were as unique as breakfast tacos. I'm not kidding you guys. That's what she said. So, if there's any question about the offense on this, or if you don't even think anything was wrong with this statement, I would like to hear from you because the Latinos tore her alive. They ate her up. They were offended. They were angry. And they were so angry, she had to go back and basically apologize because she compared them to breakfast tacos. Now, if you want to see the clip, it's on YouTube. All you have to do is type in Jill Biden breakfast tacos. I kid you not. She compared them to breakfast tacos. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. That's red hot number one. Red hot number two is, why are America's mass shooters getting younger? This is not making any sense, but we're going to try to make some sense out of it today because I have an idea, and the idea is 18 to 20, I think they said 18 to 22, they do background checks, and by that time, there's nothing on the background check. So therefore, it's like clearance to get whatever gun you want to get. And that's the reason why these shooters are younger, because the background checks are basically clean. If you get a background check from a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old, they've lived a little bit. But these 18 to 22, they just got out of high school, they just got out of college or whatever. There's no background, criminal background. So they go get a gun. And that is the reason why these shooters are purchasing guns with no problem. And stupidly enough, these parents are giving them guns when they turn 18. What sense does that make? None. Exactly. So that is the red hot topic number two. Red hot topic number three is, there was a pregnant woman and she was basically ticketed for being in the HOV lane. She was pregnant and she was ticketed for being in the HOV lane. And she has decided to take it all the way to court. Her name is Brandy. Because Brandy believes that the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe versus Wade means her unborn child counts as a second passenger. So her battle is, this is a person, right? And they're not born, right? So why is it that the abortion laws are saying that this is not a person? So she's thinking about taking it all the way to court. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. Last but not least, we have the red hot number 4. Joe Biden was heckled. I'm talking about he couldn't even finish his speech because a person was attacking him about the gun laws. Now, before we go into it, and I know y'all are ready, hold tight. We got to bring our, well, he's not even a guest anymore. He's part of the family. Gary Monroe. Woo!
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, honey bunny.
Good morning, baby doll.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Good, good.
I feel privileged to be a part of the family.
Well, yes.
The gallery of Mona Lisa.
Yes, the gallery of my beautiful portraits tuning in to us this morning.
Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's a privilege and an honor.
Well, hey, what should I say? So I want to talk a little bit about these red hot topics.
Yes.
But this is sort of like the one that is not in the red hots, but it is like habanero. What's that? What's hotter than red hot sauce? Habanero sauce, right?
If one say so. Yeah.
This is the leaked tape of the Uvalde shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this tape was leaked. And when it was leaked, it shows the shooter, the response time of the police, but in the horror of it all, it had the children screaming.
Yes.
In this tape. Now, of course, since then, they've taken the screams out, but the leaked tape is still out there.
Right.
So I wanted to say a little bit about the tape. My concern about the tape is nobody wants to replay their loved ones being shot, killed in any way. That's number one. But this footage was so crucial because it showed that the police were
discombobulated.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing else to say. Discombobulated, or
chicken,
for the lack of engagement or engaging the crime scene.
And if you haven't seen the tape, you got to see it. It shows the police basically taking 77 minutes to go in. And then when they did go in, they're retreating. And they're talking amongst themselves why the little people were being shot. And the hand sanitizer. There was a cop putting hand sanitizer on.
Let's make sure that we are sterilized before we go in here now. And trust me, being a police officer is, you get it, what? You have to be ready to. You're open target. Every day, all day. I understand.
That's scary.
The gravity of it's easier for us to sit here and say, criticize, and condemn their actions.
Right.
Their actions.
We can say that because we ain't getting shot at.
Right. Absolutely. Their actions. And I think what somewhat justifies our reaction to their inaction is the fact that we look at police officers as not just mere men or our fathers, mothers, brothers, or sisters, but
Right.
these are trained professionals.
Yes.
Okay.
You're trained.
Right. So where was the training
Oh my
that
God.
should have kicked in?
My
And they
goodness.
had a number of former police officers, law enforcement officers
Mm-hmm.
to speak up. And that's the thing that they were emphasizing as far as, and they put things in slow motion or frame by frame to
Oh my
say,
gosh.
this is what happened.
This
And
is what
as
should
a
have happened.
trained officer, this is what should have come in.
Right.
And
Right.
even I was talking to a friend last night who was in the military,
Mm-hmm.
and he was alluding to the fact that in the military, and not that they were MPs, but just soldiers, but they are so trained that even if two soldiers are disconnected to their platoon or whatever, and there's no commanding officer
right
or no general, that these two, whether they're private first class or whatever, but these two military officers or military individuals are so trained
right
that they know how to come together and say, listen, our training suggests we should do this, we should do this, that, or the other. And so I think that's not, a mere opinion, but that's where the objections are coming from.
And see, and that's what I'm. When you talk to other police officers, and they have interviewed other police officers and soldiers, they tell you that the very beginning was wrong.
Right.
The way they came in was wrong. Mm-hmm. Everything was wrong. Now, I don't know how big this town is. I don't know. But that could have been one of the reasons why they just weren't ready. And no one's really ready for a school shooting.
Well, I see, since then, here in Chatham County, the chief of police over the public schools, Terry Enoch, they had an interview last night where they were actually putting in some training protocols.
Oh, yeah.
And you would think that, since the 80s and 90s, when these really took off, that there would be training protocols already put in place and established.
Right. Why wait now
for an active shooter?
Right.
But I think things happen new every day.
True.
And I think what the trend we're seeing now is initially it started at the high school level.
Yeah.
So training was perhaps dealing with the high school level, and then we've seen it at universities. But then now a trend is happening where we're seeing it at the elementary school level, where the children are more vulnerable than a teenager in high school or a young adult in university.
And that's probably the reason why they went to the elementary school, because the last high school shooting, those high schoolers jumped the gunman.
Right.
It was a football player. He unfortunately died, but he went in on that shooter. Mm-hmm. And these little kids, the only thing these kids could do was dial 911.
Right.
Because that's what they're trained to do by their parents. But as far as charging the gunman,
but on a broader scale,
wow,
when we talk about black on black crime or crime against the blue, crime of the blue against minorities, and it's hard to get people to associate the mindset of law enforcement when it comes to minorities, right? So perhaps this right here shows that law enforcement makes mistakes too, that they are human too, and that in oftentimes in cases of engaging a crime scene, their emotions or their humanity takes over,
right? And
there's a lack of judgment that is supported by their professionalism.
Yeah.
And we see this lack of professionalism being utilized more so when it comes to people of color and minorities. And here it is, a situation now. And I know it's going to bleed into. I think you said you had a hot topic about gun control, but this atrocity, you can't call it an incident or an accident.
Oh my gosh,
it's
no.
an atrocity.
When you
that
see
happened,
that tape,
right? This atrocity that happened. I mean, we would see that there is some issues with gun control here.
yes, it's grave issues. But yeah, so we're gonna move right along with the rest of the topics, and I knew that was gonna be a habanero sauce topic. So
Hot.
so yeah, that's gonna be a last on our list. But let's start with the first one. Jill Biden
She's laughing.
really said this, y'all. The First Lady Jill Biden's attempt to compliment Latinos failed when she said they were as unique as breakfast tacos. Now, I personally, okay, this is not the views of my, this is not the views of this and that, this and that. This is just Mona Lisa's view. I thought that was very stereotypical of Miss Biden. Now, it always gets me when the Caucasian folks, the white people, don't
Community.
have the community.
Mhm.
They don't have filters because they don't think they're saying anything wrong. And then when they're called out, their first initiative is to say, I didn't know. And which they don't now. Well, some of them. And then she says, well, I'm sorry, and she apologizes, da 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 da. But it had to go to the point to where the Latinos were like, look, Chica, we are not breakfast tacos, and we take offense to that comparison. And I agree with them. So that's where I stand with this statement. Last night, my husband made another point, and I would love for him to state that point.
Well, I guess putting it in context, it's certainly not a justification of using any epithet or euphemism to describe a particular characteristics of a race. And sometimes, as benign as it seems to you, the individual, it can be somewhat sensitive and offensive to the group that you are referencing.
Right.
And you made the point that just like for the Black community or the African American community, we take offense to comments that suggest that we watermelon, comments,
fried chicken
comments,
dancing and singing.
Right.
Yeah.
And those type things. And while just to point on fried chicken, I haven't fact checked this yet, but I saw something on Facebook, YouTube, or whatever, that someone was making some Korean fried chicken. And the person said that Korean fried chicken is the best chicken in the world. And the person corrected them by saying that fried chicken was introduced to the Koreans after the war,
Vietnam War,
by Black soldiers that were there. They introduced them to fried chicken. So Korean fried chicken is really homemade Black fried chicken.
Oh Lord, okay,
so that's one thing. That's another topic.
See,
but in either case, you have to be sensitive. You have to be sensitive to certain things.
Yes,
that
you do.
You would think that by now we will be sensitive to certain things that is not illegal or against the law, but it's an unspoken law that you don't say these things right here.
But it just gets me how they don't think that. And it's not. It's just a what I mean, honey.
Let me say this. Just like we say we offensive to per se chicken watermelon, what else you were saying, different things like that. We have to be mindful of using the word they. Just saying they
instead of that person.
That person or a
Oh,
community, or
generalizing.
just saying the non-black community.
Okay.
You know, the non-black community.
Okay, well,
in that respect of regard, opposed to just saying they, because that can come off as condescending to them.
You're right, because
And even me saying them.
Right.
But
it's just right now, it's just so sensitive everywhere, right? So
that's where we are in America,
and it's just what. Thank you. That's what my point was getting ready to be. Mm-hmm. We're so sensitive now to so much, and comedians say it all the time. They feel bad because they can't really joke the way they used to joke. I mean, if you guys just put in comedians back in the 90s, that stuff is offensive, like, oh, get out. But it was funny, and you knew it was a joke, but not anymore.
If I had to say where the sensitivity has come in, is actually what we pride ourselves in this country, and that's freedom and liberty.
Freedom to speak.
Freedom and liberty. And that's the reason why everyone is so sensitive, because it's an oxymoron or catch-22 that everyone has a right to say what's right in their own eyes, but you can't say anything offensive.
Well, but it's hard to know what is offensive. But I can tell you that once you say it, and if you read the crowd, now I'm learning this in speech, okay? When you're talking and you're communicating to someone, you have to read the crowd. Just like a DJ at a party, you have to read the crowd. Mm-hmm. If you're having problems reading the crowd, you really got to check and make sure that that's what you want to do, that's what you want to say, because that's a talent, okay? When you walk in a room and you're having a conversation, and all of a sudden everybody's body language starts to change, you got to say, okay, what did I just say? What did I just do that was shifting the atmosphere in the room? You gotta be able to, you know when somebody's talking about you when you go in a room, right? People start looking, shutting up, whatever the case may be. You gotta be able to read the room. Preachers, while they're preaching, gotta be able to read the congregation.
Man, just say what you want.
You gotta know when the exit left. You have to know when to cut it off. The Holy Ghost will walk off stage and leave you standing there. No,
we're just going to say, hey, listen.
I'm just saying.
Listen, in America now, everybody just say what you want to say.
Oh my God!
And nobody be offensive, because guess what? Everyone has a right to say what they want to say.
Well,
their own opinion, their own observation, their own input. So. Let people say what they want to say.
You know that ain't gonna work. Okay, red hot number 2. Moving right along. Why are America's mass shooters getting younger? There's been a remarkable shift in the profile of the men committing mass shootings. They're getting younger. Now, I said that I think the mass shooters are getting younger because between the ages of 18 and 22, the backgrounds are clean. You can buy a gun. You can get a gun. But if you're 25, 35, 45, you've lived a little, your background is not clean. You've done something, right? So I'm thinking that is the easiest way for someone to purchase a gun between those ages. And literally, the last mass shooters, the last 2 were 18, but the ages were 18 to 22.
Yeah, I'm making some notes here.
Okay, so that's what my thought process is. So what do you guys think? I'm trying to look and see who's all talking to me. So what do you guys think about these incidences being young men, white males, because they're the only ones that's getting these guns? That's legal, huh? I don't know. I'm just saying. it was something that people were talking about on CNN, and I thought that that's something that we should discuss today. Red hot topic number 3.
Let's stay right there for a second.
Okay.
So I'm just making some notes here so I don't forget them to engage this conversation. A couple of points that I want to say to the question. I mean, why are they getting young and younger? First of all, it's written that each generation will get more wicked and more wicked. Each generation will get more wicked and more wicked. So essentially, with that getting more wicked and more wicked, they get younger and younger.
Well,
And then we're living in an information age. And what we got to understand that the information, the base of information age, the information age is accessibility. So children have greater accessibility to the things of the world at an earlier age now. And whether it's information, whether it's knowledge and things of that nature that, and just like we talked about before, with in our generation, the toxic community or activity was a literal physical place that your parents said to you, do not go to. But now there is no physical toxic place. It permeates everywhere.
It's in your bedroom.
With this phone.
It's in your bedroom.
With this, how many adults in the January 6th hearings, how many adults admitted that they were drawn into this by what they were reading and listening to online?
Now that is so crazy because they felt intrigued or they felt like they were hypnotized by the mass media pressuring them to go to the Capitol, to be armed, to save America.
Right, and not just mass media per se, as far as the network,
well, the groups,
but these various, even the groups, but also mass media, as well as you're listening to the propaganda of a particular news broadcast, and they're yet reporting and spilling these insidious ideas. So, but people now, what I'm pointing is people were wooed into this by sitting at their desk. These were lawyers, these were doctors, these were councilmen and women, these were politicians, firemen.
Let's stay right there,
professionals,
because a lot of people are thinking these folks are these hillbillies with a whole bunch of guns, and they chewing on hay and straws and whatever with the suspenders.
Everyday common
these
sense
people, the Proud Boys and the other group, I forgot the name of them. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're dentists. These are professional people, pilots. These are professional people that have decided to follow the leader on this type of craziness, and they came to the Capitol to kill.
Right.
Bottom line. So to see them yesterday or day before yesterday saying that they were wooed into this, and they they're no longer a part of that.
So to your question, why are the shooters getting younger, and continue on with that, is accessibility to information and wrong information. Okay. Also, younger people have experienced more mental trauma than we experienced.
True.
Right. And even if it's one would argue and say, hey, no, we experienced just as much mental trauma and certainly physical trauma because of getting beatings, right? But you didn't classify, you didn't know it was trauma. Right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it wasn't trauma.
But you didn't know it. It didn't register that it was trauma.
Right.
It was considered that, hey, I'm being obedient to my father and my parents and adults. But now, with information, children now have learned that this type of activity could be classified as trauma.
in there.
So now it has been absorbed into their mind and psyche as trauma. And with that trauma is a certain type of behavior, a characteristic, an action, a partnering with a group to help you overcome that, or just be the person you want to be. And lastly, I think part of that has to do with the parental misunderstanding and misconstrusion. I would say not misunderstanding, but misconstrusion and twisting of the constitutional rights, their First Amendment rights, in that what gun control is and is not about, that the right to bear arms. And so they're making the argument that you're not going to take away our constitutional rights. We're going to buy guns. It's like that's the only thing
that equals
that
out to
your constitutional
right.
rights. And so we're going to buy guns because
so why was it even in there?
All of these guys, they didn't purchase the guns. Their parents purchased the guns for them.
But why even have that in the Constitution at that time? Why are you able to bear arms? Well, what was happening at the time?
It was, if nothing else,
it was war.
It was war, plus we were living in a more cowboyish type world.
Okay.
Men and people carried guns.
So that's what I mean. This is my personal opinion. The Constitution's got to be amended in a lot of areas, because we're no longer living in the Western,
where
everybody needs a gun,
is hosted up.
Right. But now, because of these gun laws, everybody's got a gun. You could be driving down the road and cut in front of somebody, and next thing you know, you're seeing one of them guns, because everybody has one. So we got a comment. Mike, what's going on? I haven't seen you, Mike. Where you been? Good morning. So moving to our third red hot topic, the heckler interrupts Biden as renews push for the. So this heckler basically was on Biden's jock, as they say, because he was saying, hey, what's the deal with these gun laws? What are you doing about the gun laws? And Joe Biden was like, hold on, calm down. Let me finish what I'm talking about. And that dude was going in. Now, for me, as a president of the United States, I think he should have been taken out, because hecklers and whatever the president, you're going against what he's saying, like what's the word?
You're going to
boastfully. You got to get out of there.
No, you're going to have hecklers no matter where you go, and you can't allow that's just like a comedian, and you can't allow one heckler to disrupt a media conference of sorts.
I think he should have been taken out.
Just the person should have.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Joe Biden, the president.
No. I think that person should have been taken out. They didn't touch this person.
Well, I mean, if in the sense of, did he have them? I didn't see it. So did he have the mic? Was he in a space where they would say, hey, ask a question? Or he just blurted out? He
blurted it out while the President Joe Biden was speaking.
Right.
He was rah, rah, rah. And finally somebody from the news was like, boop, gave him a mic.
Right. So yeah.
And I'm like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, in a sense, once you see that question and comment of that individual is going way left, going to a place of just trying to create disturbance, that person is removed. We were in Dallas this past weekend at the Potter's house. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw. There was a young lady that was carrying a baby, a child. And it was doing altar call of sorts, and you would never see this on camera. Bishop Jakes, he never flinched. He never stopped what he was doing. But you may see some of his armor bearers or his security guard, his security. You may see some of them in the background moving.
But a young lady doing altar call, and everyone was up front, and as we would say, catching the Holy Ghost.
No.
And catching the Holy Ghost. She jumps up to she just was running up on stage, and before she could hit that first step,
baby,
hey, security was on her.
Let me tell you.
And not only did they stop her, they escorted her out of the room.
Exit left.
Right. And
one thing about the Holy Spirit, it's never indecent and out of order. So that wasn't the Holy Spirit. That was her wanting to get
being
seen.
Sarcastic. We
we gotta put that in context.
You know, somebody catch the Holy Ghost.
Hello, good morning to you. Good morning. No, that was not the Holy Ghost. But anyway, so yes,
that was a ghost, but not the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, it was the yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I think he was needing to be taken out. So
yeah.
Last but not least, we're going to touch a little bit on the pregnant woman that is basically going to take this situation to court. She received a ticket in the HOV lane.
High occupancy.
Yes.
Vehicle lane.
High occupancy. Lane.
The high occupancy lane.
And she was pregnant, right? And she said because of the Roe versus Wade law, she's like, so this is a person, right? In my stomach, right? So how is this legal or illegal to have an abortion? Because this baby is considered a person.
So let me share you what share with you what the rule of thumb is when it comes to traveling in the HOV lane. And that is, this lane is a restricted traffic lane reserved for the exclusive use of vehicles with a driver and one or more passengers, including carpools, van pools, and transit buses. These restrictions may be only imposed during peak travel times or may apply at all times. But the operative point here is that it is exclusively used for vehicles with a driver and one or more passenger.
Bing!
So her argument was because she was
pregnant,
visibly pregnant,
9 months,
and she was in the HOV lane, and she said, I'm not traveling alone.
Bing!
I'm pregnant. Well, in fact, I don't even know if she was showing as of yet.
Yeah.
She was showing?
Oh, yeah.
So, right. So, but the point that she was making is that this unborn child
is considered a person.
Right. Because of the objection to the abortion law.
Correct.
Right.
So the abortion law states that your baby is not even a baby if it's not a certain weeks or even
this basically what the abortion law is. It is a baby. That's why they have these anti-abortion laws, because they're saying that
certain weeks they're not considering it a baby.
Right. It's a fetus now. So I think what I saw something that once there's a heartbeat established or something to that effect, it's a living being.
And that was the conversation last time.
The bottom line was it was a stance and an objection against the anti-abortion laws.
Right.
So interesting protest. That's an interesting protest. That now, what if you start seeing
everybody in the HOV lane?
Visibly, you're seeing a woman in the HOV lane, and visibly it's just one person in the car.
Exactly.
And then now you pull her over, and she's pregnant.
But guess what? It's going to be a lot of women. If she wins, it's going to be a lot of women rolling in that HOV lane. And that's one thing. The other thing is, it's going to be some women that's not even pregnant that can say, I'm pregnant.
Right. So is that someone comment?
No, sir.
Okay.
So, last but not least, and I'm glad we got a little bit of time to sort of touch on this last topic, which was the leaked tape of the Uvalde shooting. And I basically said that this was very unfortunate for this tape to be leaked because of the parents that that had children to die. But all at the same time, it's because of this video we now know that the police officers didn't do their job and they waited forever to go inside. And now we saw play by play on this tape. And trust me, after that shooting, without this tape, we thought that they were heroes. You remember that? They were posing in pictures like they were. Did you see that? After that shooting, they were posing like they had did some stuff, and everybody was like, "Oh, the police officers, woo, woo, woo!" And then this video, and now we know that that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And George Floyd's video, as gruesome and as horrible as it was that video was able to put Derek Chauvin in jail.
Right. So I know that the parents and please, my sympathy and feelings goes out to the parents. But when I think of these things, I was in a conversation with someone, and let's go back all the way to the Emmett Till murder and what transpired afterwards at the funeral when the mother now,
that's true. That's a good
Emmett
point.
Till made a conscious
point.
decision,
to
reveal the
truth.
evilness, of what happened to Emmett Till, so the world could see.
That's true.
How
That's a good point.
How deeply rooted and evil racism and discrimination was at that time. And so the person shared with me, my brother and I, we were talking, was saying, maybe they should start showing the scenes, the aftermath of these school shootings.
Ooh,
so people could see the gravity
good day.
of what has happened. If we really want to see and get gun laws in place or change the minds of those who feel that, hey, don't restrict our gun laws. And I sat down with a friend last week, a white friend, and his position, he said, hey, I voted for Donald Trump. And he said, but however, his position has changed because of the tapes now that have been revealed of the January 6th insurrection. So with now it being visible and before you,
that's true.
It gives a greater light of saying, wow, this is what otherwise happened. Otherwise,
that's good.
The lie or the cover
can keep going.
Will continue.
Oh, that is so good, honey.
So while I sympathize with the parents because that's their children.
Yeah.
That's their children.
Yeah.
And understand this.
That's a thin road.
Don't think leak means mistake. Leak doesn't imply that it somehow just got out.
Yeah. Someone
intentionally and consciously leaked the tape.
And for that very reason. And I bet it was for that very reason because the person that leaked the tape later stated that the truth had to come out. And the Bible says that the only thing, the truth, it'll make you free. And it never fails. Truth will come over. It'll win over.
Absolutely.
And so that was a great point that you just made. So, number one, I'm a parent of a child that was killed. And I know how gravely and emotionally that can take you over the edge. I know this.
And let me say this about your experience so people would know. It wasn't because she had an 18-year-old son who was engaged in gang activity or corrupt activity or just a wayward kid. We're talking about a 6-year-old.
We're talking about a 6-year-old, just like those babies.
Right.
A 6-year-old that was killed because of a 17-year-old that wasn't paying attention and decided to, keep driving and not look for children crossing the road.
And he was the
son of a sheriff.
Right.
And literally nothing happened because I chose not to press charges, and that's a whole nother show. Yes. But my point with this topic is, I know how hard it is to see it, to know it. It took me a full year to read the autopsy. So I get it. It's you don't want to see that. You do not. But all at the same time, I think if a video of it would have leaked or got out, I think it would have been a better chance for us to prove or fight the case. Right. And all at the same time, if the parents didn't see this video, I don't think they would be fighting so hard to get those officers arrested and accountable. So I'm thinking that it's just a mixed situation. Right. I get it, and I feel for those parents, but use that hurt and that pain to get your children justified, or get your children what's the word? Get those people accountable, held accountable, basically. So I don't know. It's hard because that's a hurt that you can't even explain. So that's all I read. Hot Topics. I would love to hear what you guys thought about it. And I know July is hitting hard. Our topics is
hot. That's the hot topic.
See, habanero hot. And
it's hellacious hot. I was in Dallas, and she and I always debate which city is the hottest. Is it Dallas, Texas? Or is it Savannah? And hey, I'm saying, hey man, Savannah is hot, but Texas, baby, is hellaciously hot.
Yes, exactly.
You know how we used to say back in the day that it's so hot, the devil won't even come outside.
No,
it's too hot for him to come outside.
It's so hot, the devil wants some water.
Yeah.
So
in the house, in the air conditioner.
In the house, in the air conditioner. So please click like and share the show. July is popping. So we're talking about what you're talking about. Please continue to comment even after we go off the air, because I always go back and read them. And I appreciate every one of my portraits in my gallery. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show. And lastly, Garden City in the house. Garden City, we are having a housing fair.
Be a part of it.
Please be a part of it as a vendor, as a sponsor, as a resident. Come check us out at the Garden City Housing Fair and Expo. The information is in the column below. Please, please, please click like and share the show and continue to follow.
Yes. And let me say this, the Garden City, as the president of the Garden City Homestead Association, we have now been cleared to resume our monthly meetings. So we will be having a monthly meeting this month here
July 25th.
July 25th, 7 o'clock at the Cooper Center. And we want the community to come out because we will be introducing the homestead is partnering with the housing team, which is partnering with a contractor that's working with Georgia Power to help homes in Garden City become energy efficient.
Yes.
And this program is an opportunity for residents in Garden City to have their homes upgraded at no cost by Georgia Power to make your home more energy efficient. So please come out. That's July 25th, Monday, July 25th, Cooper Center, 700 Davis Avenue on Rosenau Hill, for as we resume our meetings for the Garden City Homestead Association. So if you're on Rosenau Hill, 5 Mile Bend, Wheat Hill, if you're in historic Garden City, no matter where you are, Silk Hope, Salt Creek, everyone, Chatham Villa, if you live in a home, mobile home in Garden City, please come to this meeting and register and see about qualifying for this energy efficient program.
Yes, please do. And we look forward to everyone coming out. I mean, if you need your house repaired, rehabbed, renovated, you need to come out and fill out an application and see if you qualify. And the number, well, I'm not even going to go there, but I will tell you that you have to be a homeowner and your home has to have home insurance. Okay. So that's the two top things, but there's other things.
That's for the home. That's for the other program.
Yes,
the renovation program.
That's for the CHIP grant project. Right. Okay. So anyway, so yes, follow the link, and if you have any questions, give me a call or a text. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show, and thanks again, honey, for. Oh, you got
being a guest. Hey, I'm just glad
you're part of the family. You're no longer a guest.
What does that say? Well, I guess
the Mona Lisa Monroe.
Guess what? See that right there? That's in red. Buggy Monroe right there, boy. Love, peace, and soul satisfaction.
Take care. Yes, bye-bye.